Like, the thing is, like, are you a gangster, right?
Right.
Like 3,000 miles in a car, that's averaging over 400 miles a day. You've got to have the car to do it. And if you don't have the car to do it, like, this is not something I could have done in a Buick, right? Power glide, big block, like it wasn't feasible. But with the new setup in the new car, 4L80, I mean, even with the big block, the 4L80, I mean, we were getting 13 miles a gallon. We were getting, 150 miles in between. So
All right, guys, welcome to the Drag Driver Pete News presented by Summit Racing. Camp Counselor Bob here he's on this morning to talk about an idea that he has. And we've been talking about for the last probably 4 or 5 days, a week, something like that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of an idea that I've had, shoot, I think I brought it up to you over a year ago, and I decided that I'm going to do it this year regardless. So I figured, why not make it an event, right? We're not going to, release the name or anything yet because we're going to do that at PRI, but we are looking at doing an event from June. What is that? The 27th there?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're looking at June 27th to July 4th. It's a 7-day event. It is a free entry drag and drive, no entry fee, and it is New York to California.
Holy smokes.
This is insane. I love it.
I've been doing the math, and it is going to be over 3,000 miles. There is for sure going to be 3 stops, right? And that is, of course, the Red Ball Garage. That's going to be 1 checkpoints. The Portofino is going to be the 2nd checkpoint. And then the for sure 3rd checkpoint is up in Modesto, California. And it is going to be at the American Graffiti Museum.
I love this. We've talked for a long time. Somebody tagged Robert Lee for me this morning. We've talked about doing this for a long time. And dude, I think 2026 makes the most sense. You and I've back and forth routes and all that kind of stuff. And I think I'm just going to go to Indy and then over to Route 66 and follow 66 all the way through. I think that's my goal. That's my route.
Yep. And the one thing about this one is drag and drive has it's from the time it started to now, it's really become about the competition, right? Mm-hmm. It's about who's the fastest, who thrashes the hardest, who makes sure they get there. But this one's going to be for the adventure, right? It's across the country. There is going to be a somewhat designated route, but when you look at the mileage, you will not find a route under 3,000 miles, making this the longest drag and drive in history.
Yeah.
And then, you've got, the route that Mike has there follows Route 66. But what we're looking at is, there'll be, some more stuff around this, but getting off the route is encouraged, right? Exploring America, getting through the towns that, you might not typically go through.
Yeah. One thing you and I talked about, the great thing about this is the week, right? So we're going to leave the 27th and then we're going to meet up on the 4th. The cool thing I think is going to be that like the weeknights that you're cruising along a 2-lane highway and there's these super small towns that are doing their own watermelon crawls, their own 4th of July events, their own fireworks thing, all that kind of stuff. And you're just going to be cruising along America as you go across this whole thing. Pretty cool. I really can't wait. And this is going to kick off. Hopefully I'm just going to keep running the Pacific Coast Highway and go on up the coast there. It's kind of my thought process and make this just a huge trip.
Yeah. And I've thought about 100 ways to do this, but I think there's nothing more iconic than the Cannonball route. I've been thinking about it for a year, what would be something that we could do. And I was like, let's do the Oregon Trail. I mean, we could start in Missouri, make our way up to the tip of Oregon, and that could be something in the future. But I think to kick off this freestyle, no buy-in drag and drive, for the adventure, this is going to be, the logistics is going to be on the team, right? The team that's doing it. Yeah. And, some more to come on that. But the big thing
tell them about how this works into a drag and drive though, and not just a drive. Because it's more than just the drive.
The way that it's going to be is you've got from, New York to California, that's a big thing. But then you are required to turn in 6 passes by the time you get to California, or by the time you get to the final checkpoint. You're required to turn in 6 passes from 4 different tracks. And those 4 different tracks are of your choosing. You can look at, and I plan on getting a list on the 2 main routes, all the drag strips, when they're open, and what their, test and tune schedules are. So that way the logistics can be can be built between you and your co-pilot, right? And then the other thing, this is a long ruling thing. There's not a lot of rules to this. If you've got a car following you because you break down in the middle of nowhere and they got to trailer you home, then they trailer you home. You just don't finish the event, right?
Yep.
So, it's for the adventure, but it will be, you will have 6 passes, 4 different tracks of your choosing, 3,000 plus miles driven in your car. And in each state that you drive through, you have to collect a piece of, automobilia, right? Whether it be a license plate or, you stop at a Route 66 stop with, the town name or something on there. You have to collect a piece of that, and it's just something that it's kind of a way to see America, but also give back to the drag and drive community because, I don't need to charge you $500 to come out and do this because I'm going to do it regardless. And so,
and the other side of that too is like, as we see these events sell out and be huge and like 300 and 400 cars and all that stuff, you and I've talked, success on this one could be 10 cars.
Yep.
Like this one's not driven by numbers. This one's driven by how much FOMO we're going to give people across the country. Across the world, really, to be honest. Like Tom Bagley's over there, he's putting the math together right now. Racers know when you want performance that wins, you want AFCO. From shocks and suspension to cooling, brakes, and more, AFCO Racing has been helping teams go faster for over 30 years. Built by racers, for racers. Check out the AFCO Advantage and follow them today on social media for the latest in performance parts. AFCO Racing, built to win.
50 miles in between. Shoot, we got the Canadian Chuck Norris looking at this. He's like, that doesn't sound like too bad. So I'm thinking, this is kind of going to be it's going to be a small numbered event. It might be a lot of people, but it's going to take the people that want to do this, the hardcore guys that want to go across the country and prove that they have, a real street car.
Well, and hey, look, you start talking, like we're going to do some very special things around this. Like there'll be some special shirts and decals and all. Like, so when you pull into something in 5 years after this event and people are like, oh shit, you did that one? Like you're in 3,100 miles in your hot rod. Yeah.
It's the Iron Man, right? And I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, right? Without Drag Driver Pete's support and coaching on this, but it's going to be something special.
I think it's going to be a ton of fun too. Like as much as Robert and I had talked about this, like, and then it just kind of, like most things in adulthood, they fizzle a little bit, like, but you're talking about one team compared to now we're going to be in the midst of a bunch of teams. And listen, I keep saying it, cool cars make cool cars, right? Because there's going to be, if you think that this is going to turn into a convoy at some point with, say, 4 of the teams end up convoying because they want to do this together as a group. Think of those as you're pulling into like Amarillo, you're pulling into New Mexico, something like that. You've told people, hey, oh yeah, we made the trip from Red Ball Garage. We're doing, the Cannonball. We're hitting 66. We're hitting all these things. Just the momentum that this will bring, I think, across the country is just that much cooler. And then you tell them, oh, we do this for fun, but normally we do drag and drives, which is, you drag race and drive to the next track.
Yeah.
Tom Bagley, Power Glide, and short tires numbers are working right now. We need a gear vendor for Tom's car. Who's got an extra gear vendor laying around that we can put in Tom's car?
And that's it's like the Amazing Race, right? And I keep going back to that, when I was a kid watching The Amazing Race, just people doing all sorts of stuff all over the country or all over the world. And it's like, this is something that has never been done before in a drag and drive.
Yeah. So we know 400 miles a day has been pushed by Drag Week. And then they did 2 times where they've done 400 miles in a day. And then Rocky Mountain Race Week does that. Typically when they're in the mountains, they have a 400 mile, but they put a drive day in the middle. This is every day.
Yeah. This is every day. If you don't get any sleep, you have to average 19 miles an hour to do this.
Yeah. But like if you sleep for 4 hours, now you're up to probably 23 or 4 miles an hour. And listen, a gas stop is going to be an hour. Because you're going to pull in, and there's going to be cool cars from all over the world here during that week. Think about it. It gets no more American than that week. The 4th of July, you're cruising Route 66. Man, dude, I just get chills.
Well, and you got to think about this, right? You're looking Los Angeles the 3rd of July, Los Angeles to Modesto. I don't know what time you're leaving, but I'm thinking in my head, like I want to be at the Portofino at 1 a.m. and I want to be up to Modesto by like 5 a.m. because if you hit that traffic, it's going to be terrible.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that, especially with as many people as are going, that will be doing anything in that vicinity with cars at all. Like the cool thing, I guess, we would be the 4th is on a Saturday, right?
Yep.
So yeah, you could get totally screwed on a Friday coming into LA.
Yes.
You got to time that right, which would be even better. And how many miles is it from LA to Modesto?
I think it's around 300 here. Let me check.
Oh, wow.
312 miles.
Wow. Yeah, so that's a full day of driving. After you've done a full week of driving. Mason Dibley here says, I've done a few cannonballs at high speed. A drag and drive style one would be unique for sure. I think really what makes me so interested in this right now is that you've got to find track. Like you have to find 4 different tracks along the way.
Yep.
So do you have relationships with, Mocan or Tulsa Raceway Park to where you could hit those and make a single pass at those tracks and get your time slip and then go on? Or are you needing to find like Yellow Belly does their Thursday night deal, but you don't be at Yellow Belly on Thursday night making a pass because you need to be like in New Mexico on Thursday night, So if you leave on Saturday, you could probably hit something in Pennsylvania and that part of the country Saturday or Sunday. And by Sunday, you probably need to be close to Indy at least, right? I would think. Yeah. This is going to be awesome.
Well, and
the further you get, the slower you're going to go.
Yeah. And depending on what route you take, right? Like, like I said, there's that preferred route, but you're not gonna do this in less than 3,100 miles, so if you wanted to go down from there, you could take down through Virginia and then Tennessee. There's 27 tracks in Tennessee, right? So, you could hit 4 tracks in Tennessee and then cruise out the way you want to go, right? Because once you hit through Tennessee, you could connect to 66 at Tulsa because you take 40 across Arkansas.
Yeah.
So, there's lots of ways to do it. And that's why, over the 3, I'm going to reach out to some tracks and, get some test and tune schedules. So that way people can, they can make the trip the way they want to. Right.
Yeah. Tom Bagley, you got Edgewater in the Ohio border. This is going to be, if you could be in Indy on Sunday, you could probably get a pass. Yeah. I think it just becomes the opportunity for you to find tracks you've never been to or ones that you want to hit, and then you just start reaching out. You start telling them, hey, look, we're doing this crazy ass trip. And I guarantee you this won't be the first phone call they've heard about some crazy ass trip in the year 2026.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing, right? Say you just take the regular Cannonball route. It takes you just underneath Chicago there. If you've got to swing up to Great Lakes Dragaway, it's only 2 hours out of the way. You could go up there. You could hit that. I think that's one of the oldest drag strips in the nation. So, you could hit that. You could drop down through. You could hit, I-80 in Nebraska, come down through Kansas. Maybe if you're doing an 8-mile trip, you could hit, I can't remember the name of that strip just outside of Colorado or just by Burlington, Colorado there, starts with an S. It's real. It's a small little 8-mile one, but you can drop down through there. There's lots of drag strips across the country.
Oh, hey, that's a great idea.
Trackers on the car for this, then you can have a map of where everyone is.
Yeah.
Kind of cool idea.
I wonder if we can do it and not show mile an hour because we don't need it. If somebody's making a trip, we don't need it to see, I was on the drag strip when you saw that 143 miles an hour.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like this is a sanctioned, unsanctioned style event. So if somebody wants to try and break the record and go from the Red Ball Garage to LA and then hit 4 tracks in California, that's more power to them.
Interesting. Yeah, some air tags would be cool. There are some things that bicyclists use for tracking their stuff. So I'm sure we can figure out, joiner.
So, and some people that have made this trip, I might need to find out who they are and reach out to them so I can get some, logistics and the best way to do it.
We can definitely put you in contact with some of those folks. There's a few different Facebook groups, but one that I'm a part of that's pretty active and has a lot of guys in it that have done this before would be for, record stuff. Obviously I'm not going for the record. I'm going for fun and how much stuff can I see? How many passes can we put on Tom Bagley's Knapsack Mustang along the route, I guess? Because, hey, if he's offering as a co-pilot, I'm taking it. I was going to take the old truck, but if he's offering that up, I'm in. So the wife had suggested not giving away the cart and using the cart on this and putting 2 oversized American flags on it as we drive across. So this is pretty interesting, dude. And I love that you came to us. I really appreciate the opportunity here for this. I think this is going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's
yeah, I mean, maybe not that, but there's a pre-1970 record or something, or 79 record, I think, something like that, in a car of that size, or car that vintage. We can always look at those, and dude, there's a bunch of really fun records that could be looked at. But I'm telling you, none of these cars would be fit for that.
But we're gonna have fun. I sent Mike over, just some things that have some of the awards and stuff. Of course we're gonna have, the quickest ET, slowest ET, but we've got the Happy Camper Award.
Is that total? Is that like complete elapsed time, or is that like average for drag passes?
So that's average for drag passes. Legally, I don't think we can do a quickest elapsed time. But we can do a Cannonball award. So,
nice, perfect, my man.
Yeah, for my government agent listening to this, we're not doing. But to be
honest, for the FBI guy that's listening, but to be honest, I don't think the person that does that would have as much fun as everybody else. Dude, can you imagine you're at the finish line 4 days before everybody else gets there?
I actually have a kind of a story about that. And the first time I did a drag and drive, I didn't see the appeal to it, because me and my co-pilot, we were in my 23 F-150, and we would go make our pass. We thought it was good enough, and we'd be the first one at the track the next day. And we're like, well, this is kind of boring.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like day 3 when my current co-pilot, he broke down, and he's like, hey, man, we need some help doing this. And so we'd kind of stay back and, help him fabricate some stuff and do that. And we're like, oh, so this is what it's about. And that's kind of where I fell in love with drag and drive.
Or Tom, just do both. And listen, by the time we get to Modesto, that will be July 4th. Big Sky only starts a week after that. We'll have to sleep for 2 days in Modesto, and then we'll just cruise up to Big Sky from Modesto. That'll take 2 days. Now we're 3 days ahead of Big Sky Race Week. It's perfect. Just we need Tom Bagley to live in the U.S. So if anybody has a way to do that, we need that, please.
Is Drag Driver Pete hiring? Because I bet we could get him a visa.
Well, if you know how, him and I have really had some serious conversations. There's some opportunities that are coming that I think Tom would be good at.
At that point, you might as well do 6 summer and then cruise over to New York and then do the trip and then go to Big Sky.
Now you're talking my language, man.
If money wasn't an option, that'd be the plan.
But if you're going to do 6 summer, you might as well do Rocky Mountain Race Week that's before that. So you just do Rocky Mountain, 6 summer, this run, and then Big Sky Race Week.
Yeah. So,
there's no better way to spend 6 weeks.
There you go, Tom.
Yeah, I'm in. We'll just stay with Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly right. Camp Counselor Bob. We didn't talk about kind of how what Camp Counselor Bob means. So let's talk about that for a minute too, and then 6 weeks of Drag and Drive. Again, thank you so much. We have names rolling around in our head, and that's all going to be released at PRI with a bunch of other details and awards and all the fun stuff that'll be coming along with this. We'll do it at PRI. Again, this is not a new idea. This is an idea Robert's had for a long time. We're doing it this year, and I'm pumped, especially if I'm be a co-pilot to Tom. So Camp Counselor Bob, for the guys that don't know, we wanted more experience for our campers at the Circuit 2025, and Robert Voss, Camp Counselor Bob here, stepped up and said, you know what, I'll do a Camp Counselor deal. I'll be great at that. And he was, man, it was awesome. Sadly, it was a weird time with the having to move the dates back, but he signed back up for 2026. So all of you campers, which we feel is the way to continue pushing the sport forward, is to get people to camp. And historically, that has been kind of boring. So everybody that's at the campsite hears these awesome parking lot party stories and all that kind of stuff. We wanted to bring that kind of atmosphere to the pits at the next track. And so that's what Camp Counselor Bob is there for. Fire, we're going to have planning for fires this year, coolers of drinks, sodas and adult beverages, snacks, end your day with a snack and a good conversation there in the parking lot, and hang out and camp and save a little money.
Yeah. And, last year was a blast. We had some misfortune with weather and whatnot, but, we had, co-pilot beers, we had pit beers, beers were had. Right. Yeah. And, some of a lot of people didn't camp because of the weather, but, these guys that did, we had Aaron Fleetwood and Jim, they were sleeping in cots underneath an awning trying to stay warm. And, then we had, Josh Reich, and, of course we had Alex Rops, and, it was just, a good time. We had quite a few other people that would show up here and there, depending on, what the track was. But I think now that people have seen how it's done, it's going to be bigger this upcoming year. And then one other thing that I'm doing is I purchased a service truck. And so I will be bringing that with me with parts, welders, all the tools we need for anybody that breaks down.
Nice.
And so, if we got to do an engine swap in the parking lot, I've got my crane. We can, crane it out, crane it in.
Yes.
Awesome.
Remind me as we get to that. I have a ton of LS parts that are here in the shop that I was going to just cheap sell the other day, but I got to thinking, I'm like, man, I probably should keep some of this stuff for the circuit just to have. So I will tell everybody this, the Camp Counselor program has grown. We did offer that. We are offering that to sponsors for 2026. I want to do this across the country, man. I want to do this at different events. I want to, if me or Eric aren't going to be at an event, we want to look at somebody to take care of this across the country at other events and stuff like that, because I feel like that's how we're going to build a bigger community. We're going to make it way more welcoming for everybody when they come into the, if you pull in at 10 o'clock at night and everybody's got their tent set up and nobody's outside, dude, that's pretty tough. You got stories to tell if you're pulling in at 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
And just to go to bed, man, that's tough. So we want to give some people an opportunity to and a place to talk about all that. So
we figure out a way to supplement my income. I'll be at every Dragon Drive this year as the camp counselor. So
I'm in.
You guys sell it and I'm in.
Yeah. The sponsorship is not that expensive. I'll tell you that much. But hey, we'll see how it goes throughout the year. Maybe events will want to pick it up and have that opportunity there and not have to worry about it, So I think that would be kind of fun too. But dude, you're awesome. Thank you for your friendship, man. I appreciate you being around. And obviously I can't wait for this. This is gonna be badass.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of brain racking over the next week to, get these events or these details hammered out by PRI, but it'll all be worth it. So
yeah, the next 10 days is going to be pretty busy. The cool thing is, obviously we'll put this event up on Facebook so you guys can see it and follow along with all the news and updates and stuff like that. And that gives us, are you ready for this? 7 events in 2026 that Drag Drive Repeat is a huge part of. So I can't wait, man. It's going to be another huge year. 2025 was big. 2026 is only going to be bigger. It's going to be awesome. All right, dude. You're the best.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
See you soon.
Yep. Later.
Bye. How fun, dude. What are you taking? Yeah. Ooh, the 240. Bro.
Oh, man.
Come on now. Come on now. How much fun would that be? A convertible 7, or I guess, if you drove from home to New York, dude, you'd be like 11 or 12 days.
Well, yeah. Don't forget, you got to get back from California, too. Mm-hmm. My original thought was rent a car and do it, but man,
that's no fun.
There's so much going on at that time of year. It's gonna be crazy.
Well, and I think this is an opportunity for folks that want to maybe do a couple days with some folks instead of doing all of it. This would be a great chance for if there are dots like Dibley was saying earlier, if there are ways we can do that, bro, I'm in, because then you could say, hey, I'm going to be in Tulsa on Tuesday at 4 p.m. If you guys want to drive for 2 days with me, come on, let's go. We'll load up and we'll roll. Yeah, I mean, he said Eric's 240 and the knapsack together. The world isn't ready. They're not.
Man. That would be wild. What would be fun though is like you're saying, like if you're coming through, Illinois, like just like you said, jump in line, cruise for however long, hang out for a little bit, and then jump off.
Well, and if you did a day, like say you met in Indy, cruise through Illinois and Missouri, and say you went to MoCan with us, then you're still a day from home. That's 3 or 4. Say it's 4 days worth of time. That's still a blast, and you're going to you're going to have a blast doing that. He said, if I can help at all to plan, I'd love to put my 2 cents, my coast to coast knowledge to work. Hey, let's go, buddy. I'm excited. So we'll definitely be messaging. We'll probably create a group. So if you are interested in this, probably a chat group that'll come up over the next few days. So we'll see what goes on there, maybe a WhatsApp group or something like that. So I'll need to be friending Mason Dibley, and hopefully Camp Counselor Bob will be doing that as well here shortly, because this is obviously it's his brainchild. So he's going to be running the main points on this. We're just going to be helping getting it out and, get everybody excited. So,
yeah.
Be kind of fun. All right. Again, thanks to AFCO Racing Products and all the stuff they do for us. Again, they are right next to us at PRI booth 4601. We are booth 4611. Literally, our walls will touch. And they're going to have the Boostmaster wagon in there. So you're going to be by there anyways. That car's now on radials. So you got to come by and look at that thing. It's going to sit stupid low, man. It's going to be badass looking. I can't wait to see that car in person. You know that Deal Brothers have been helping a bunch with that car, get it set up for suspension work and for the radials and all that. And it's going to be, again, right next to us. And guys, you know how we do it. The Race Car Friends, you guys help us out so much here. We appreciate that. And we've got big news for you at the end of the Drag and Drive Awards at PRI. And for the folks that are at PRI, you're going to get some extra special. We're creating that this week as well. I'm kind of pumped about PRI, dude. I mean, we're literally leaving 10 days. So
yeah,
it's like the anxiety is next level right now. And of course, thank you so much to our sponsors. I know as a lot of you guys are, you're sitting there. This is the end of a holiday weekend. We've kind of laid around and hung out. As you're doing that last minute bit of shopping, you know, into tomorrow as well for Cyber Monday, hit up these sponsors. They help us. They help you. They help the entire community. So Summit Racing has big deals. We're going to talk about those here in a minute. Deechworks, huge offers right now, up to 20% off. Molly Motorsports, you want the best pistons in the market, go right there. Driven Racing Oil, they've got, did you see the oil change kit deal they had the other day, man? Like, great stuff over there at Driven. Hit up Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, AFCO Racing Products, Performer Built Transmissions, Car Change 3D, PowerTube TV for all the stuff you want to watch, WAF Racing if you want some like 3D printed carburetor tools and other fun stuff, Sweet Patina for the best hand cleaning wipes on the market, and then of course Racing Junk Classifieds, which we're going to talk about at the end of the show. They have a special drag and drive car segment, so you can jump in there and, you know, buy you a new car. I mean, look, I'm a size 1973 Nova, you know, one of those.
Agree.